She's got your pretty little head wrapped up in her legs. She's got your pretty little mind in a Southern Cali.
How's it going, guys? I hope you've had an amazing day so far. First things first, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to you guys for making my first video so special. I know I've sort of chatted about it on Instagram previously. Genuinely, this has been something I've been thinking about for a long period of time now, sort of transitioning over to YouTube. We've finally done it, and that would have never been possible without you guys, so thank you so much for that. So today we're continuing the Summer Shredding series. Obviously, the last episode of Summer Shredding was Day 16, episode 4. We are now actually at day 30, so we're 14 days further down the line. Obviously, the reason we haven't had an episode since then is because of the transition from Instagram to YouTube, and hopefully you guys understand that. But we've been through quite a bit over these last 14 days. I'm going to run through that today. Today, we are actually going to be doing a what I eat in a day to get in the shape of my life for summer. So as you would have seen, I weighed in this morning. I always start my day by weighing myself. What I tend to do is I'll weigh myself daily and then take a weekly average, purely based on the fact that your weight is going to fluctuate. And then I'll base my progress on sort of the check-in pictures that I take for myself, and then obviously the weekly average of weights. Anyway, your weight will fluctuate off many factors: water weight, muscle gain, fat loss. There's so many things that contribute to weight gain. Weight gain and weight loss. So I think the main thing you guys have got to realize is that progress isn't just the scale, it's other things such as your pictures, it's other things such as your measurements, etc. So just remember that when you're taking your weigh-ins. But this morning I weighed in at 188 pounds. That is my lowest weigh-in so far. Day 16 I was 192 pounds, so I'm 4 pounds down since then. Obviously in 14 days that's around 2 pounds lost per week, which to be honest works for me. I'm absolutely fine with that. Some people may think that's a little bit too fast, but I know this is what's working for me. I'm maintaining my muscle mass, so that's the main thing for me, and getting leaner at the same time. My energy levels are still pretty high, so I'm pretty happy with that. When it comes to my calories, since I'm 188 pounds, we are going to keep the exact same amount of calories of what I've been on pretty much this entire time. Or at least for the last sort of 14 days. I've been on 2,400 calories with 300 grams of carbs, 180 grams of protein, and 53 grams of fat. Now, obviously, everyone's calories are going to be different based on their goals, so don't base your calories off what I eat. But today, sort of the purpose is just to give you an insight of what I would eat if I was to have 2,400 calories. I'm pretty much going to be running through everything I would eat on a day-to-day basis, and this sort of doesn't change a huge amount each day. I may change up my dinner, I may change up maybe 1 or 2 of the snacks, but throughout the course of the day, generally this is what I will eat on a day-to-day basis. And with that being said, we are going to go into meal number 1, which also happens to be my pre-workout meal. So let's start off right. Meal number 1, which you would have seen me making there, we have got 120 grams of low-fat Greek yogurt with 80 grams of berries, so raspberries and blueberries, and fruit and fiber cereal. We have got a fiber bar as well. With the fiber bar, I find it helps with the sweet craving, so I tend to have these on a daily basis. 1 a day, sometimes 2, depending on how much I'm craving them. And then we are having also a scoop of Oxywhey from the legends over at EHP Labs. Use code Harrison via the link in the description, guys, if you want to save yourself 10% off. Genuinely the absolute best supplements in the market, and I will be using them throughout pretty much the entire course of the day. You would have seen actually in the clip before this where we sort of started the day, I was having the Oxy Greens. I'll always start my day with Oxy Greens just because it's an easy way of getting your greens in. I tend to be rubbish at fruit and veg, so using Oxy Greens is another way of doing that. So yeah, this is meal number 1 and our pre-workout meal as well. Pre-workout meal done, which means we're pretty much all set to go to the gym if it wasn't for one last thing, which is my pre-workout shake. So currently I'm taking Pride once again by the guys over at EHP Labs. What I tend to do is I'll take 5 grams of creatine alongside maybe 2 scoops of Pride. I will switch between Pride and OxyShred. I'm going to go through the differences in a future video on sort of a supplements-based video. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss that one. And yeah, so I'll combine that with 5 grams of creatine, have that pretty much every single workout, and go from there. Today we are going through back and shoulders, which is one of my favourite workouts of the week. So yeah, catch you guys in the gym.
she'll never disappear. Summertime, California sunset on my mind. Feeling too high for my state of mind. Piece of paradise, I'm lost in a skyline, skyline. Summertime, California sunset on my mind. Feeling too high for my state of mind. Piece of paradise, I'm lost in a skyline, skyline.
So obviously post-workout now, which means we're going to be having meal number 2, which is going to be 2 egg whites, 2 whole eggs. It's going to be like a scrambled egg thing. So 2 egg whites, 2 whole eggs, 25 grams of ham, some tomatoes, 25 grams of reduced fat cheese, and 2 chicken sausages. So I'm pretty much going to show you all the ingredients that go into it, and then I'll show you the finished product. So it's around 5 PM now, and we are about to have, I suppose, our third meal of the day, but really it's just a snack, our late afternoon snack. I'm the kind of person that prefers to eat the majority of their calories later in the day. I get hungry at evening. I'd pretty much prefer going to bed on a full stomach. If you're not that kind of person and you get hungrier in the morning, obviously use this technique. Do whatever works for you. But for me, I'm the kind of person, I need most of my calories for the evening, else I'll really, really struggle to sort of stay under them. So for me, obviously, I've only had 900 calories so far, meaning I've got around 1,500 calories left. And for my late afternoon snack, we are going to be having one of these protein pots or protein puddings from Aldi, and we're also going to be having a coffee. So we're going to have one of these Nestle caramel lattes. Now, one mistake people do make on their fitness journeys is not tracking liquid calories. So for example, coffees, teas, maybe alcohol, maybe cans of sort of Coke, cans of maybe lemonade. This could actually affect your fat loss journey in a big way in the long run. For example, in one of these caramel lattes, there is 68 calories, and that's not including maybe the milk and the sugar that you add with that. That is just sort of one mug with just the powder that you get in one of these sachets. And this sort of shows how many calories are in things like coffees, things like teas, things like canned drinks. The calories do add up, and at the end of the day, the most important thing for you to lose body fat is being in a calorie deficit. If you're not tracking these drinks, you're not going to be in as big a calorie deficit as you think you are. Now, I've just sort of touched on tracking, that word tracking, and a big part of your fat loss journey will be tracking. If you're the kind of person that likes to know what's going inside their body, I'd 100% recommend using an app called MyFitnessPal. I'm going to leave the logo just there. Pretty much MyFitnessPal is an app that is going to allow you to expand your knowledge. It allows you to track all of your foods in your diet. There's a barcode feature, there's a search feature, so you can see the exact food that you are eating. It's going to allow you to see the amount of calories in that food, the amount of protein, fat, carbs in that food, which again is going to be crucial when it comes to losing body fat over a long period of time. So it is around 9 PM at night now, as you can sort of see from the darkness. About an hour and a half ago, I had my evening meal, sort of meal number 4. Around 7:30, I tend to have sort of my my big meal of the day around 7:30. Keeps me sort of full up for a few hours. Tonight I had a chicken pad thai. What I did is I cooked 2 portions worth, so I used 580 grams of chicken breast. Obviously split that into 2 is 290 per meal, and then I got a pad thai kit. Genuinely just a case of cooking the noodles, cooking the chicken, putting sort of the pad thai sauce in, and add in sort of any vegetables if you want to. I was going to have peppers, but I didn't have any, so instead I added tomatoes instead. I just think it's important that you get at least one sort of, I suppose, vegetable sauce, even though tomatoes are technically a fruit. If you get one vegetable sauce in with your even meal, I think that's quite important. And I tend to be, as I said earlier in the video, I tend to be someone who's pretty rubbish at getting their fruit and veg in, so really trying to make a conscious effort to do that now. Obviously, the pad thai is genuinely, it is so simple, and it's a case of, I think, the most sustainable results are going to be from doing things that are simple, things that aren't too complicated. If you're trying to cook fancy recipes constantly all the time, it's not sustainable, it's not something that's going to last. You'll probably end up getting bored. Genuinely, a lot of the time, you just want meals that are going to be pretty quick, pretty easy, and that taste nice, things that you enjoy, and this is how you're going to sort of maintain and sustain a good dieting phase. Now, for my final sort of, I guess, meal, but snack for the evening. Meal number 5, we are going to be having a full bag of popcorn. And I know that sounds pretty over the top, having an entire bag, but it just keeps me full. I like going to bed on a full stomach. It is 100 grams worth. I'd usually have just the sweet popcorn, but Co-op didn't have any, so I'm just having the sweet and salty one. And for me, popcorn is just a nice way, again, of giving yourself sort of that sweet treat at the end of the day. Popcorn is actually very, very good when it comes to calories. This entire bag only has 495 calories, which is pretty amazing for the amount of volume you actually get from it. And finding sort of diet hacks like that is what is going to help you sort of stick to your diet in the long run, finding things you enjoy and making sure you are finding little things along the way that are going to help you. Things like low-calorie ice creams, maybe some jellies, sweet treats that aren't going to make you go over your calories, but things that you enjoy, especially towards the end of the day, because that's when my cravings really start to kick in. So we are going to wrap things up now, and I'm just going to get up my calories for the entirety of the day. Obviously, the aim was to hit 2,400 calories with 180 grams of protein. We got to 2,319 calories with 181 grams of protein. The aim was 300 grams of carbs. We got to 245. So if I wanted to have maybe another little snack after this, I can do. I've got enough carbs to be able to do so. And we hit 56 fat when we were meant to be having 53. But I don't mind that too much, as we're a little bit under on the carbs and a little bit under on the calories. So overall, a really, really good day. You'll see sort of my total calories on the screen here. And this is something that I'm going to be sticking to for probably a period of time now until I do maybe hit like a fat loss plateau. But as I said, these calories are working for me, hitting sort of 10k steps a day. I tend to be losing body fat at quite a good rate now, and I'm pretty proud of sort of where I've come in the last 30 days. It's been pretty decent fat loss, and I'm looking quite a lot better, I think. And for me, a fat loss journey is meant to be enjoyable. It's meant to be something that you get almost fun out of. You're meant to enjoy the journey. It's not meant to feel like pain. It's not meant to feel like you're actually torturing yourself. You're not. You're meant to be enjoying yourself, enjoying seeing the progress. And I'm definitely enjoying sort of the progress on my journey. I'd say this is probably about my 5th or 6th fat loss phase now, so I'm quite experienced with it. I know how my body reacts to certain things, and it tends to be going quite well at the moment. So we're going to wrap this one up today, guys. Thank you once again for watching if you've got this far. Genuinely means the absolute world to me. In the last video, I actually made a little tiny mistake, which maybe 1 or 2 of you may have noticed. If you can go back to the last video and spot the mistake, I'd be quite curious, because I'm not too sure if it was very noticeable or not. It was a spelling mistake in one of the sort of writing bits. And I was very tempted to just like strip the whole video and just make sure I correct the mistake, but I think on this journey, I've just got to learn that when it comes to YouTube, not everything is going to be perfect. One thing that put me off starting YouTube for such a long period of time was the sort of perfectionist in me, the guy who never wanted to make mistakes. With me now, I'm just going to try my absolute hardest with every single video, make sure I sort of proof check it as many times as I can through, but if I do make maybe a small mistake here and there, I'm not going to beat myself up about it, and hopefully I can just provide the best possible content for you guys and just improve throughout the journey. YouTube is hard, and I found that for the sort of first few weeks, and hopefully we can improve, hopefully we can get better, and hopefully we enjoy this process. But yeah, as I said, this channel would not be a thing without you guys, and I appreciate it so much. Do all the usual things, make sure to like the video, make sure to hit subscribe. Have an amazing rest of your day. Big love, H.